Okay, now we are going to be talking about something that is very underrated, overlooked, but it is actually one of the most effective ways of getting a conversion. We are going to be talking about the best practices while writing the Google search ad copies. If you recall, we did the copywriting framework exercise, and we did make ads for, display, and we did make ads for we talked about multiple copywriting frameworks for Facebook ads, but we didn't touch upon Google search ads. And if you recall, I told you the way you write for Google search ads have to be different from the rest of the ad channels out there because this medium is different. Google searches are really high intent. This is where you want to test a lot of direct response copies and not much of conversion copies. If you remember the difference between direct response and conversion copies, if you understand the intent, you deliver exactly that, and you don't have a lot of room to express your creativity. If you remember, we were writing really long form copies, when we were doing Facebook ads, when we were writing copywriting for Facebook ads. Google doesn't give you that opportunity because the character limit is short. So we are going to be looking at the best practices of writing Google search ad copy. All right. Okay. The easiest tip that I can give is, whenever you're targeting a keyword, you repeat that keyword at least twice. At the max 3 times, not more than that. Okay. People generally tell that, you have to put your keyword in the title, in the description, and in the URL, in the ad extension, everywhere, right? It's not really true. You can do it twice. At the max, you can do 3 times, but not more than that. Okay. Whatever ads you create for Google Ads should be super straightforward and communicate exactly what your product is very quickly. Okay, here we don't have a lot of room to tell stories, use IDA, use PAS. we don't have the room here, and hence we did not talk about it, in week 2. All right. So there are a few low-hanging tips that you can take care of. For example, use your brand name in the title, preferably. Okay, use your brand name in the title, like you see this example, swing spaces at WeWork, or you could have said WeWork swing space, whatever you prefer. Another thing is, if you have a price point, a starting price point, it's better to call that out in the title. A while back, we were discussing that real estate example, right, between Brigade Exotica and Tata, who were doing it very well compared to another real estate player. It's very important to call out pricing as long as you can, especially if you think it is not a conversion killer. You can definitely do that. All right. And using a brand space is really, really important. And because when somebody is looking for a co-working space, first of all, you're creating branding for your brand. That look, I am a company that offers co-working space, right? You're registering in people's mind. At least they will start looking up for your brand name. If the monthly search volume thing that we're talking about, you can do the same for your brand term as well. We were looking at dining table as an example. You can look up your own brand name to see how many people are searching for your brand name in a given month, right? The branding activities are usually measured if that number goes up. Today it could be 50 people looking for your brand name. Tomorrow it could be 100, and when you have a bigger brand, 50,000 people will be looking for your brand name, right? So branding, in terms of how much you have reached people, can be measured by using Google Keyword Planner. That's one of the pro tips, by the way. This is where the intersection of branding and performance happen. I mean, you may not be able to include the brand name every time, but if there is a possibility, just go ahead and do it. Okay. And I usually prefer starting with my brand name and then talking about the product, but that is something that you can test. All right. Why should we bid for our own brand name, right? If you see this example, WeWork is running an ad. WeWork is organically showing up as well, of course. If WeWork is not running an ad, this could have been taken by another co-working space. Let's say CoWorks. Okay, it's another very popular Regus. All of these guys, they have other co-working spaces. Springboard, 91 Springboard. They could potentially bid on this keyword, and they could show up their ad. And WeWork has done great work in terms of building brands, so people are using WeWork to look up. It would be not right to lose that particular visitor to a competition, right? And hence, most of the brands run ads for targeting their own brand terms as well. It solves that objective. Objective number 2 is it gives you so much of real estate. Look at this real estate. Look at the space that it is occupying. It is almost 60, full screen. There is, when you search for WeWork, you don't see nothing apart from WeWork. And this is an organic link, right? This one is auto generated. This particular extension in an organic link is auto generated. You don't really have control over in terms of what shows up here. It's completely up to Google. Okay. Whereas in your ad, because you're paying Google, you have the absolute control over your ad extensions. You can lead people exactly to where you want. If you look at these ad extensions done so nicely, it is talking about flexible plans, it is talking about co-working spaces, it is talking about private office spaces, it is talking about sanitized spaces, which is very important at this point of time, especially post-COVID. It is a beautifully done ad for your brand keyword. I mean, you're leading people exactly here. If you look at the organic search listings here, people might go to anywhere. I mean, this location page, it is talking about their international locations. Right? It is actually taking me to their global website. You don't really control this organic listing except for this first one, which is very likely your homepage, right? So there are different objectives that you solve. One is you're not losing it to the competition. Second is the real estate that you occupy. Third is, you can redirect the same traffic to different landing pages, because when somebody is searching for your brand name, you don't really know what they're looking for, right? And, they could be looking for a private space. The selling point could be a sanitized space for them, or they could be looking for a co-working space. So beautifully done. Beautifully done. If they want to understand the pricing, they would actually click on flexible plans. It's one of the best ads I've ever seen. I have no comments about the company, but this is actually a pretty well-written Google ad, and it is direct response in nature. Okay. There are a few popular words, and this study is from WordStream. If you don't know WordStream, you should add WordStream to your bookmark. They are one of the thought leaders when it comes to PPC, PPC ads, and they talk about all types of ads, Google, Facebook, everything. It is actually a software that can help you run ads more efficiently. Maybe we will cover this, while we are talking about automation, dashboarding tools and stuff like that. Once again, it's, this is an, they have analyzed some crazy number of ads to identify what are the top performing, what are the popular words in top performing ads. Okay. And this is free. Of course, there is are, by, your, the bigger the word, the more number of times it has been used in the top performing keywords. So something like now, your, free, shipping, of course, online, best, save, today. I mean, it's a no-brainer if you think about it, right? Most of the businesses will be using these keywords. And if you're writing Google Ads, just keep this as a reference, and you can include some of these keywords. This is like a swipe file you can keep. Okay. This is most popular CTAs in the top performing ads. The previous one is just a word. It's not really a CTA. Your is not a CTA, right? This is actually a study done by WordStream, again, with top performing ads. There are words which is used in CTA in top performing ads. That is, get, which is used most of the time. And I really love the word get. My team uses get. Otherwise, they will get bamboos from me. Okay. As long as it is relevant for that business, they'll be using get. Buy still works, shop works, learn, build, discover, really good ones. I personally like discover. I like sign up. I like learn. It is a very friendly call to actions. Buy is something then we are pushing the user too much. Get works for a reason, because get is neither pushing for a sale nor it is too friendly. It's more like giving the power to the visitor. Get it. Just like just do it types, get it. So it gives a sense of ownership, a sense of power to the visitor. And it is a completely no-brainer why a word like get, would be a very popular CTA in the top performing ads. Okay. Pro tip. Let's break down the search ad, how it actually looks like. Now, I know we have been looking at a lot of screenshots and we didn't use the interface. We will record a separate module where we will walk you through the interface. Don't worry. But what would be fantastic is for you to parallelly look up these things. We already talked about creating a Google account. We showed you the interface in a couple of times in a while. We are trying to create a campaign. You have the Google account parallelly and do all of these things. It will make it a lot more easier. And of course, we will have a video for you where we'll walk you through an interface, preferably an account with some data. All right. So this is how a search ad typically looks like. This is the syntax of a search ad. It usually will have 3 headlines and 2 descriptions. Okay. Sometimes the third headline doesn't show up. Depends on the real estate, depending upon the size of the device and stuff like that. This ad may show up. In desktop, it will very likely show up. In mobile device, sometimes smaller screen mobile device, the headline 3 may not show up. but it's actually pretty important to write. You just cannot ignore it. It is valuable real estate, and it'd be stupid of us to ignore this, right? Uh, Correlate that with a real example here. This is headline number one, headline number two, headline number three. Now, one common mistake that I see is, most of the headlines that people write is the same thing. Okay. So you don't really have to try and do it, with three different headlines that represents your business. First of all, this one, level up your business. Not really a great headline, but at least, it doesn't talk about the business directly. Web design and digital marketing. Okay. Online marketing experts. Maybe this is an ad that is written for a business who is looking for digital marketing help, online marketing help. All right. And see this, get, immediately. Get is a word that has been used. It's a nice description. Till this full stop is description number one. And from V to, call the nerds today is description number two. Okay. So from get to services is description number one. V to today is description number two. This is the call to action. Call the nerds today is the call to action. Call, that word call is there. That's a good word to use. Okay. This is the general breakup of Google text ads. And we will talk about some of the best practices. What all can you write within headlines? What all can you write within descriptions? We will look at that now. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you a real life example, an India example. I searched for term insurance plans, and this is one of the most competitive category. Okay. You'll see sometimes 6 ads. I mean, the entire first page will look like it is filled with ads because it is such a competitive category, and people go to any extent. They bid almost 1,000 rupees for a click in this category. Okay. Because it's difficult to sell. Out of all the ads, few ads stood out to me, for the way they have written it. And we will recap the best practices that we just discussed a couple of slides ago. Okay, ICICI Prudential stood out, Max Life stood out. Okay, they have the brand name in the title. Both of them are very well known advertisers. Who is very well known for really fantastic performance marketing campaigns. Like I always say, if you really want to learn performance marketing, do not learn from the modern VC funded businesses, right? Because they go after a different kind of metric. But these businesses, these traditional businesses that has existed since decades, when they're competing in a highly competitive market, we need to be learning marketing from them. Okay. And I know for a fact, these guys do it pretty well. Both ICICI, Prudential, and Max Life. They compete head to head on so many products. Both of them are super. Alongside, of course, my personal favorite, Policy Bazaar. Okay. So there is brand name in the title. There is keyword, the keyword in the title, very important. Brand name and the keyword in the title. Your 2 headlines are pretty much done with that. You have to tell exactly the product does. It is telling exactly what the product does. When you go for an ICICI Prudential term insurance, you get 1 crore life cover. Okay. They have done a little more. They have enticed the user to click on it, by showing up the price point. I told you about using the price point. Very important. Again, they're qualifying the visitor. If somebody is looking for a lesser premium, they're likely not clicking on it. If somebody is looking, the premium is high, this will entice them to click. Somebody might be thinking the monthly premium could be around 2,000 rupees, but when it is 593, it is exciting enough for them to click on this ad and check out the product. Okay. It also chases away people who are looking for a cheaper version of the product, achieves 2 objectives. Then they talk about, they use the description very well for their product benefits. If you see here, 34 critical illness cover, check your premium, call to action, get covered till the age 85 and protection against income loss. I mean, fantastic description, really good description. Option to skip premium for a year, a lot of value proposition here. Okay. And then I'm sure it led people to the right page where they saw exactly the same thing. I mean, pro advertisers like these guys, they wouldn't make the mistake of leading a user to a wrong page. They wouldn't have led them to a home page. They would have led them to a PPC landing page where the landing page spoke that exact same thing, which is 1 crore life cover at 490 rupees per month. Okay. And another thing is, that I really like is the usage of extensions very well. This is called ad extensions. They have used site links, checking your premium, stuff like that. Here they have calculate premium now, buy online and save up to 8%. Even they've used the extensions to their benefit. Okay. They're talking about the offer. They're talking about the benefit of the product. Very nicely done. Beautifully written ad copy. A little too overwhelming. Let's say for somebody, who doesn't really understand this product. They've just heard about term insurance. It might be a little too overwhelming for them, but I'm 100% sure these are high click-through rates ads. Okay. Yeah, these are a few more ads that showed up. Some of them had done a decent job. For example, in a HDFC, because this came at the bottom of the page, and hence I kept it separately. They've lost ad auction for some reason. May not be because of ad copy, it is because of my preference, right? Maybe I would have interacted with these businesses in the past, and Google thought it is best for me as a person to show me these ads. But if you are going to be Googling the same terminology, you'll be getting different set of ads. Okay. That is what ad rank does. This is a very okay, not so okay kind of a they could have mentioned HDFC is a very powerful brand. They could have mentioned the brand name. Again, Bharati AXA is a very popular brand name. They could have, but this is something that I like about this ad, which is life cover till 99 years. This one, Win2Wise, is probably a startup, that wouldn't have ended up getting enough clicks in this. First of all, they ranked at the bottom ad rank. Either enough people are not clicking on it because of non-popular brand name, or they wouldn't be bidding too high, because I told you this competition for this category is super high. The range can go from anywhere from 200 rupees all the way up to 1,000 rupees for a click. And Mintwise is a company that might be bidding towards the lower side. They really don't want to compete and burn their money. So it could be a smart startup as well, for all you know. Okay. So when you're writing ad copies, you need to write specific search query, for specific ads for specific search query. For example, look at these 3 ads. Okay. Somebody searching for shoe. You want to drive them to a landing page where they can see multiple varieties of shoe. Look at this ad copy: online shoe warehouse, all styles, up to 50% off. Shop a large selection of colors and style, free shipping on orders. It is pretty much the same. I think they have smartly used the same description everywhere, but they have changed the headline. One, if you noticed, women's shoes, it says shop women's shoes online. It doesn't say online shoe warehouse, right? It is women's Nike shoes. The headline changes to women's Nike shoes. But the rest of them, it's kind of similar. That's okay. That's their selling proposition. That's their offer limit. So you can absolutely afford to repeat that as well. There is nothing wrong. But they have definitely customized at least one headline specific to that keyword query. Now, you remember the green tea example, the coffee example. If somebody is looking for a decaf coffee, the headline has to say decaf coffee. If somebody is looking for a 4-cup coffee maker, the headline has to say 4-cup coffee maker and not generic coffee maker. You can, but the likelihood of that 4-cup coffee maker getting clicks is higher. Okay. Okay. These are a few more tips, something that is already covered. And these are some nice ads that I was able to capture, while I was building this deck. Include your brand name, preferably in the title. Look at this, DigitalOcean has included. This is another smart way of increasing a click-through rate. Okay, registration symbol or trademark symbol. You can this registration is the most likely used one, so you can try that. Yeah, this is nothing wrong. I mean, Google won't ask you for certification and stuff like that. This one is hire a freelancer, and freelancer.com they have used, though it literally is what it is, freelancer.com offering a freelancer, but they have still used freelancer.com in the brand name. Atlassian never fails to impress. They always use, this is the product name of Atlassian, Confluence, because I searched for Confluence and, this came up, and I was searching for project management software, collaboration software, and this came up, Confluence. So Atlassian is known for writing brilliant ads across all the stages of the funnel. And I hope you do remember, I've used Atlassian's examples a lot of times. Yeah. And Zoho CRM, of course, favorite company. Yeah. You can include incentives, preferably in the title. If you look at this particular ad example, they have included sign up for a free trial. This could be one of your headlines. It doesn't always have to be your product. It can be your offer. So this is something that you could use as a headline 3. And if you want to test, you can use it as headline 2 as well. Okay. These are a few more examples. Again, a majorly competitive category, flight tickets, Travelook, they're a little overwhelming. But yeah, I mean, it does the job. Maybe they did not use the brand name because brand name doesn't really matter in this category, if you think about it. I mean, some of you may have preference. I don't want to make a general statement, but to me, at least, whichever platform is offering me the best bang for the buck, best price, I'm going to go with that. And a smart customer will always do that, right? And hence, they might have probably avoided the brand name, right? I mean, what is the big difference between a clear trip and an go IB board? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me about it. All right. So this one, they've used, the discount offer as a incentive, right? Which is, they've called out the promo code as well, just to increase that click-through rate, so that it doesn't look like a fake discount option, because a lot of these guys are notorious. I'm not saying them in the screenshot, but a lot of other players in this category are notorious of saying 5,000 rupees off, but when you go actually check out, it'll be a 300 rupees off the same coupon code. There'll be some catch in it. Okay. This is another exciting way, using an incentive in the title to improve the click-through rate. Okay. You can use social proof again, especially if you're going after consideration set of keywords, the transactional set of keywords, you can definitely use social proof, right? If you recall, while we were doing the copy framework, and I had asked you to use the social proof in different places. So this is another opportunity where you can use social proof headline too. Here they are talking about trusted by 65,000 customers. Here they're talking about America is number one rated mattress, Casper. Hey, by the way, Casper is a fantastic marketing case study. If you want to look up what Casper is doing, go look up their ads, go look up their social media, podcast. Fantastic company, fantastic brand. Okay. And, this one may not have used it in the headline, but they have definitely used the social proof in the description. Okay. I know, because I have done Google text stats myself, I've written a lot of times, and I used to struggle because Google doesn't tell these things to you. By the way, Google gives a very generic blog page is how to write ads effectively, because they want you to be spending more, not necessarily get the maximum out of Google. But yeah, I mean, these are things that I've learned from looking at, different ads, and possibly based on my opinion, it would have done the job, right? And unless, what I would say, if there is no data, you can't really tell whether it has worked for you or not. But based on what I have tested from these examples, it has always worked. Okay. Ask questions, preferably in the title. If, let's say, especially if somebody is suffering from acne, if they are looking for acne symptoms, or what to do about acne home treatment, and if you do have a product that will help them prevent acne, you can use a question, because this raises curiosity, and people likely to click on this. This is a very interesting way to increase click-through rate. Okay. The next one is, you can be descriptive in your ad copy. Look at some of these examples, not the policy bazaar, but the other two. Edelweiss, protect in falling market, grow in rising market. Good one, not bad at all. This one is stocks for serious investors, stock opportunities for 2021. This is not really asking people to buy the product immediately. This is actually giving a descriptive statement. They could have probably, driven this traffic to a good landing page where the users learn about some of these things and then take an action. Yeah, people do that as well, especially in highly competitive category where the competition itself is clicks. Who should get the click? So they will use this particular category. The financial product category is amazing, example for us to look at, and learn a lot from them. Okay. Can communicate value proposition and the product benefits effectively. This is one of the best stats I've ever seen. Just like WeWork, I was telling you, I was searching for best email marketing software. Sendinblue is the company that is running ad. Look at this. That's beautiful. Okay. The only thing that is probably missing is the brand name, but it's okay. There is URL and they are mentioned in the description. So that's all right. You can let them go. Best email marketing software. Exactly what I used. Could be a keyword insertion, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good job well done. Okay. Best value for SMBs. This, I'm two ways about it, because what if I'm an enterprise company? Right, then probably I might stay away from clicking on this. But irrespective, this is actually a very good line to put but I wouldn't have put that here. I would have probably put that in description. The description is written beautifully. It talks about importing your contacts in minutes. They have flexible pricing plans, and you can upgrade it to Sendinblue today. Good call to action. Not just that, the reason I like this ad is because of the way they have used their ad extensions, communicating their value prop and the benefits crystal clear. Okay. 9,000 emails free per month. They have a free trial subscription. You can actually build the newsletters, good ones. You can build landing pages. If somebody is looking for a best email marketing software, they might be looking for these other features in a software as well. And this ad is doing a fantastic job communicating that. All right. Okay. Another one is, communicating the pricing. And I've repeatedly told this, it's really, really important. It actually attracts the right visitors, the qualified visitors to your landing page, instead of attracting everybody who's searching for it. I mean, U-Haul is a company. Two Movers is a competitor for U-Haul, okay? And they are running an ad targeting this particular keyword. They've called out the pricing. Pricing might be a selling point. Look, it starts from that. Maybe U-Haul is slightly expensive. And if you use something like this, and it's a big selling point, okay? No need to rent a truck. We will help you with a truck plus two men. I mean, this is the best. This is super high qualifying, super value communicating ad copy. And I don't see something like this in India very often. Maybe people are doing it, but I just haven't come across these kind of ad copies. Okay. So the good use of ad extensions. This is slightly confusing to me. Maybe it's a it's not our ad. It's meant for a different country. But otherwise, get 3 quotes in seconds from $65 per hour. A repeat of this. Why use professionals? Getting cut off. Maybe they did not fill this up properly. But otherwise, I chose this because of the headline. It's just a brilliant headline, especially when you're targeting a competitor. Okay. Whenever you run competitor brand targeted ads, especially I've seen this mistake happening. You don't really tell. I mean, I know a lot of you might be bidding on the competitor keywords, but your ad copy is just a generic copy. I'm not saying you're doing it, but that is what I've seen most of the times. Okay. For example, look at this. This is actually, I mean, I looked up for a mattress and a brand specific mattress, and this ad popped up, right? Ideally, this ad didn't pop up for me because it's meant for a different country. I picked it up from an article. Okay, so do not buy that mattress. Learn the truth. Why are you overpaying? I mean, beautiful. And they're talking about versus Casper, which means how this is going to lead me to a landing page where they will tell why Tufton Needle is better than Casper, right? Social proof. This is something you can do, but there is a little bit of procedure for you to include this kind of a rating in your ad, right? They usually take surveys from sellers. You can't fake this rating because it's extremely crucial from a Google UX perspective. So there is a way that you can make this happen, and of course, it's a fantastic ad. Look, this is a post job on ZipRecruiter, and this is an ad that Glassdoor is running. They're saying post job on Glassdoor. You can reach millions of job seekers, right? Not as uh, you know highly competitive as Tufton Needle here, but it still does the job. Okay, MailerLite. MailerLite. I search for MailerLite. Look who is running an ad. Send in Blue. They're clearly calling their name out. MailerLite alternative, and try us at $0 per month. I mean, just brilliant. The problem is, it's not really a big deal in the US, where you can actually call out a competition. But in India, people get offended all the time. You might end up getting a legal notice for using a competitor name, especially if it is a trademark competitor name. You cannot be using that in your headline. As much as possible in India, if you're running campaigns, you should stay away from using your competitor name in the title or in the description. You shouldn't use that name anywhere, right? But if you're a SaaS product, if it's global in nature, you definitely can take on your competition, provided they're not trademarked. If they are trademarked, they have the authority to sue you. Okay. If you looked up the recent issue that has happened, Make My Trip had sued a company called I don't remember that company. They were using Make My Trip's name in their ad copy, and this went to court, and I think the judgment fell in favor of Make My Trip. I don't see the other company ads anymore. All right. So these are different ways, where when you're targeting a competitor ad, and you should be doing this. You cannot be just running a generic search ad. You should be telling why they have to consider you. Are you a better alternative? Do you have a better pricing? Do you have a better value proposition? That is what you should be communicating. And if you're a global SaaS product, you can actually lead them to a landing page where the landing page can talk about the benefits that you offer over that competition that the customer was looking for. Very popular in the SaaS world. Okay. These are different extensions that you can use. If you're starting for the first time, you may not have access to all the extensions, depending upon the account, depending upon your history, many of these extensions will get added. But there are a few things that is always available. For example, site link is available to everybody. Call extension is available to everybody. A call out is, I think, available. Structured snippet extension is available. Location, I think, is available mostly for retail outlets with some history. Price extension may be available for only e-commerce websites. But there are about 4 or 5 extensions that is available for everybody. And when you're setting up an ad campaign, it is a mandatory thing for you to use extensions, and you should be doing it. All right. Okay. Now, that is all the best practices of Google search ads. I hope you found a lot of value. because it took me a lot of effort to compile all of these things and use my own experience as well. And you should be doing it. I hope that gives enough juice for you, enough gas for you to come up with a lot of ads, really different ads, and not do the generic ads, which everybody does, right? So the next one that you need to keep in mind is use UTM URL even if it is a Google ad. Okay, I know people tell you that if you're running Google ads, you don't really have to use UTM, because Google Analytics is capable of understanding when you connect Google Analytics and Google Ads integration happens. Google Analytics is capable of understanding, even without using the UTM tags. But what if you have a different analytics platform? What if you have to use an integration and send data to a different BI dashboard? In that case, it's very important for you to have UTM tags. There is nothing wrong using a UTM tag. Okay, so despite Google Analytics is capable of recording the data, you should still be using UTM tags. The benefit of UTM tags is, this is a dashboard with the UTM tag. This is a dashboard without UTM tags. Okay. This is a dashboard with UTM tags. Look at the way this campaign looks. Very clear. I know exactly what campaign delivered what. Compare that with this particular screenshot here. Look at these. This is how generally people set up campaigns in a very, very different ways. Especially when there are too many people involved in managing an ad account, everybody will set it up in their own way. And it's really difficult for you to understand the context of this campaign. Whereas look at this, you can really understand the context of this campaign. This is a post-Independence Day campaign. This is a Whale Daily campaign. You very clearly can bifurcate. Okay, that's very important to use UTM. If you really want to know how to do UTMs and all, you can just quickly Google up or YouTube, watch a YouTube video, and very, very easy to set it up. Okay, don't worry about it. By the way, UTM stands for Urchin Tracking Module. I know a lot of you would have heard about UTM. I have heard about UTM a lot, but I never bothered to ask for the full form. So Google acquired this. Urchin is an analytics company. Google acquired this company. Then UTM was born. So UTM stands for Urchin Tracking Module. Okay. The next one that I wanted to share with you is, it's a pro tactic. It's not really a new tactic. It has existed since a long time, but it has lost its charm with more professionals coming and structuring the account different way. But it still works for majority of our clients, especially for the keywords where we know it is going to get a customer, right? So this is a way to drastically improve your Google ad performance. But again, if you're a large account, doing Skags might get really cumbersome. Your account will become messy. You might want to do it for only the highly profitable products. You might want to build Skags for only the highly profitable products. You may not, if you're a Flipkart, you don't want to be doing this. This is actually going to make it a lot more cumbersome. All right. So this is how a Skag looks like. They have a campaign, and I can set up. This is for electrician. Okay. And what are the different types of ad groups that you can set up for an electrician? You can put electrician near me kind of a keyword. You can put emergency electrician. You can put electrical services. You can put local electrician. Okay. And this keyword, there is only one keyword. That's it. The best thing that you can do is you can use a phrase keyword and exact keyword. But I would recommend you to use exact because the functionality of phrase has changed. It includes a lot of broad modifier keywords as well. So it is at this point of time, if you're setting up Skags, you should be doing it for exact keywords only. For example, look at this. This is the only keyword, electrician near me. The benefit of doing this is you will be able to customize that ad copy. Okay. For example, imagine if all these keywords, electrician near me, emergency electrician, electrical services, local electrician, are in a single ad group, then you can't really write a super sharp ad copy. You will have to mix up all of these things. And for example, emergency electrician as a ad can get triggered for electrician near me, which is okay. It's not a bad ad copy, but this one is more effective compared to this. If you actually think about it, read through it once again. You can have multiple ad groups that you want based on the tight theming of keywords. But in this case, it is only your most profitable keywords that has historically delivered results for you. You take that keyword out, only one keyword, exact, put that in exact match, square brackets, and write an ad copy specific for that keyword and lead them to a landing page where they see exactly that message. There is absolutely no way that the conversion is not going to happen. I mean, there are possibilities. What if the internet goes down? But I think you get the idea. Right, you can write absolute custom ad copies. You can make absolute custom landing page This requires investment, and hence I'm recommending you to do it for historically best performing keywords for you. You can control the entire experience if you do it. And what are the pros of doing it? You can have control over the bits. Custom copies means higher CTR. Better landing pages means better quality score. Better quality score means better positions and better cost. What are the cons? It can get really overwhelming if you're running a large number of Google ad campaigns. It can get really overwhelming. It is slowly becoming non-relevant for large accounts. I mean, like I said, and it's an old school tactic. Still works if you're a small and medium kind of an account where your spends are roughly about 10-15 lakhs a month, lesser than 10-15 lakhs. You can definitely go for Skag. All right. Okay. One more thing I wanted to highlight is the gold mine, and I think I touched upon this when we were talking about keywords. It's called search terms. Okay. Just because you said a broad keyword, you gave a broad keyword to Google to bid on, doesn't mean they show the ad to exactly that keyword, because for that you will have to use exact match, which is where search terms become extremely relevant. Usually the search terms are hidden under keywords. This is how the Google ad interface is. On the left-hand side, you will see all the menu. There is a menu called keywords, and under keywords, you'll be able to see search terms. And the search terms will tell you what are the exact keywords that people used. If you look at this, this is actually an active ad campaign. If you think about it, we have added few of these keywords that we felt is relevant, but few of the keywords that we felt is not relevant, we haven't included it. Okay. Ideally, we should have excluded it, but there could be different reasons, why this keyword continued to be there. Because even though it may not have generated higher conversions, the traffic quality that this keyword might have generated might be super high. Okay. That we can measure it on Google Analytics. So, you don't have to worry about the complexities of it, but the idea is when you go to the search terms report, you actually get the exact keywords that people used when your ad got triggered and when they clicked on your ad. Okay. Generally, people just select the search keywords and see in this search keywords area, they will be able to see only the keywords that they chose, not the keywords that user typed. If you want to know what the keywords that user typed, then you have to go to search terms. It is a gold mine of opportunities. This will give you newer ideas, newer campaign ideas, newer way of looking at your ad copy, newer way of looking at your landing page. Fantastic. And even if there is a search terms, you'll get all the relevant metrics. How much did it cost you? Did it acquire a conversion? How much CTR did it get? All of that information is offered. Okay. I think this is added because of the higher click-through rate. This one doesn't really have a big click-through rate, but may have potentially generated conversions. They have added this. Personalization is added. Great click-through rate, 7.3%. Like I said, we usually keep 5% as a threshold, and anything above 5, we consider that as a good performing CTR. Okay, 7.48 is good. 7.37 is good, so they have added. You might see some 1.44 also added, but that keywords could have generated conversions, and that is the reason they have added it. Okay, cool. So that is search terms. It's the gold mine of opportunities, and generally beginners and intermediates miss out on this. An advanced marketer know the value of search terms. All right. Now we talked about Google search ads in depth. Obviously the next few options are, we are going to be talking about display. We are going to be talking about video, which can be very well used for performance marketing as well. I'm going to see you in the next module.